Hey, buddy.
Yeah. Finally.
Hey, how's it, man?
I'm good with you. Are you good?
Oh, yeah, I'm good. I'm alright.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm glad finally we managed to connect because there was some sort of error online.
Yeah, there was an issue, but thank God we're back.
Yes. Let me just do official welcome to everybody who has tuned in. Greetings to everybody. Thank you for tuning in today. I'd like to welcome you to this beautiful show called The Predestined. This is a show that seeks to bring hope to the hopeless. And I'm glad that today I'm not alone in our virtual studio. I have Vuyo Dabula, and we will be talking about a topic entitled consistency. That is very much important in everything that we do. We must learn the importance of being consistent. Now we have in the studio the one and only Vuyo Dabula, the best actor in South Africa. Oh, I'm sorry for saying South Africa because now you are on Netflix and I know it has 190 countries. So you are global.
Yes, international, global, call it whatever it is. I'm grateful for all of that.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. So I saw you before we went live. You were busy doing your exercise. And I remember the other day I said to you, hey, Vuyo, man, I want to join you next time when you exercise. But from what I saw, I ran away.
No, man, it's also I was actually explaining to the people that were watching that actually, you've got to one stage at a time. My best skipping time is about 30 minutes.
Wow.
And I started off with a minute. Yeah, I could only do a minute when I started skipping. And so I would skip a minute and then I would, get a break for a minute. And then I'll skip another minute and break. Just like that, and I'd build to 3 minutes. And then, I combined the minutes and I just skipped to 3 minutes straight.
Yeah.
And I would and do another 3 minutes straight. And then rest, do another straight. And eventually it was 9 minutes and I could skip for 9 minutes straight. And that's how I build on and build on and build on. And I think now I must have skipped, I don't know, 15 minutes or 20, I don't know.
So I saw when you were busy doing your workouts, you had your headsets on. Which song were you listening to that kept you motivated?
I was listening to Imagine Dragons. I was listening to a couple of songs from Imagine Dragons, Radioactive, Battle Cry. Yeah, that sort of thing. Rock music, with the exception of some, I think hip hop. That's my opinion. I think it's all very cinematic and it's like emotional. Some of it, not all of rock music is like that, but it's very emotive, and so, it connects me to an emotion. It connects me to a thought, maybe a memory. And as soon as my mind leaves, the present where I'm training and I'm feeling the pain, then I can carry on. That's how I get inspired. Carry on through the pain. Even though it's difficult because my mind is not really concentrating on the pain. But it's like that in life when you concentrate on pain instead of what you need to do, then that's how you get slowed down. That's how you give up.
Wow.
That's how you lose your So I distract myself with music. But it's gotta be. Jay-Z's got a lot of Tupac as well.
We're gonna come to that. Please don't go there now. We're gonna come to that. Let's save it for later.
Yeah.
Let's save it for later.
Get ahead.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I know that last time when you were preparing yourself for the Queen Sono series, you went back to gym and you worked really hard for that, because I know after that you did some new photo shoots that shows your body now, the improvement and etc. And now I know that from what I read, what you call season 2 of Queen Son is coming back. So you working out is it in preparation with the season 2 or what?
No, listen, today is the first day of, it's reminiscent of, like, the old days, before everybody knew me.
Okay.
When I couldn't go to the gym. Now we can't go to the gym. I got in shape. Before I could afford gym. So I think it's just reminiscent of the past, the old days. And what's beautiful about it is that I haven't been to the gym for a while. I decided, because I know that though it's difficult to pick up, the pieces, I can, I've been given that. It's a strength. I can't help it. I was born with that. So for me, it's just for me. I'm excited about Queen Sono. I'm excited about, possibly going to work soon. But this is just for me. This is for me to just realign myself with, who I really am, and get in shape. Really, it's it's personal this time. It's personal. It's good when it's personal. It's very good when it's personal. Like Simpson saying to go just one last time. I don't know why I keep thinking that, just one last time. And bring down the
pillars.
The pillars, of whatever stronghold is in my life. Ultimately, whoever is watching, they can break down their stronghold as well. So I think, that's my mentality right now. It's for me.
So I know that lockdown, of course, disturbed many things, and most of the people I know, they don't know that you are passionate about cooking. At least one of the things that you liked the most was not disturbed.
Well, definitely. I mean, I've been cooking up a storm. My favorite. It's not really adventurous, but it's quite. I enjoy it personally. So, I've been having, like, T-bone and chips. I've got my pasta, and I grew up. My mother used to make pasta and mince for me, and
so you learned from her.
Definitely. I learned a lot of things.
Wow.
She's incredible human being. So I learned a lot from her besides just cooking. And I took to it. I loved it. But coincidentally, or as DNA may determine or control, my father as well, he could cook. But he was one of the hardest human beings ever. He wasn't scared. And I can tell people, I don't know if people remember this, when I tell them about my father, he's the type that will go towards a very dangerous situation, where we normal people, when something happens, we want to duck and we want to what's going on, we want to run away from. He had that type. He couldn't help it. He was given that. He was born with it. So he would go towards that. The Bible talks about David and his mighty men. He would have fitted in. He would have just been one of those killing, where are we going next? Who's else are we kicking next? He would have. But I said all of that to say, he was a great cook. he was fearless, but he was a great cook. You know.
I hear you now.
But Pantsola, you know what the Pantsola Okapia. I've got an Okapi now, you know. And I've got an Okapi now, and it's because of him, you know what I mean? Everybody just wants to be like their hero. Their first hero is their father. And he had those qualities, but he could cook. I picked up the cooking from him, I think.
So are you ready to cook knowledge for us today? Because in this session, I'm gonna put you on the spotlight to cook knowledge for us. Many people don't know that you are an intellectual and you also have superior logic. So I'm gonna put you on the spotlight. Are you ready?
I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know what it's about, but we'll see, you know. I'll just be myself.
Okay. So now tell me, Ben, if today I was a president and I were to decide that we put lockdown on a break for 3 hours, what are the 3 things that you do with these 3 hours?
I think with the 3 hours, I mean, you know, we're not built like islands, you know, human beings. We want that human sort of connection. Yeah. You know, that's why, you know, you're doing this life, and you know, that's why I'm actually looking at you now, having a conversation with you. A simple conversation, a simple, you know, I don't know, about the easy things about life, about the deeper things about life, about any, you know, we want to talk. You know, that's why people who bottle things in do not necessarily, you know, get to heal. You know, a person that speaks, and I'm grateful. I've got like friends that, you know, they're real, they're very smart, and they're very spiritual, more so than I am. And you know, I was lucky to actually be surrounded by them. But I actually have a great affinity towards people who are smarter than me, who are more, you know, more spiritual than me. You know, that have something about their character that you know, I admire. And so basically what I do is, you know, I would literally, you know, want to connect to, you know, I would want to connect to, you know, my friends, you know, because, you know, isolation is isolation, and mine is like freaking isolation level 9,000 because I'm alone. Yeah, you know, I stay alone. I appreciate the quietness. I appreciate the quietness and the peace. But I'm human, you know, like any other human, and you know, we are created in a way that, you know, we rely on each other. You know, we need that shoulder to lean on. You know, that's the first thing I would say. You know, contact. You know, I think the second one would be, I don't know, man. I think the second one would be, I don't know. I feel like, you know, the ability to move around. You know what I mean? You keep moving. I'm happy when I'm moving. You know, when I'm sitting down, I get depressed. And, you know, I can't do that for too long. I've got to move. I need, you know, that energy. I would literally be like, okay, you know, let's, you know, I would get a couple of guys and be like, okay, let's go jog.
I hear you.
You know, let's go jog together. And I've noticed that with, you know, you can start a race with a stranger.
Wow.
And by the time the end, you know, by the time the jog ends, they're no longer strangers and they're friends, and you'll be surprised, you know, the kind of, you know, and I say treat people kindly, be nice to people.
Yeah, man.
And you would be surprised at, like, your time of need, you know, who come through. You know, the people that have come through for me during this time, they are not known, they're not famous. They're just, you know, any other regular guy or regular, you know, person in the streets that I've come across, and, you know, I treated them well.
Wow.
And they treated me well, you know, at first, you know, the first meeting as well. You know, there was no any disrespect or anything. We treated each other as human beings. And I would do, I would do that, And I don't know. It's the third thing. I think it's very, like it's got to do with human connection as well. So I think this thing is taking away the human connection. I know that, most of us get to spend time with their families and everything, something that they haven't done. So, but people like me who, are staying alone right now, I would say, spend a lot more time, with, I would go I would go to Northwest, I would go to Northwest and be like, yo, how's everybody doing? See faces and whatnot, that I haven't seen in a while. So I think all three really for me are, about human connection, and I'll tell you, I'm a nomad. I could go away for long periods of time. I'm like that. It's built in me. However, the silence and the quiet, because it's not busy. I'm not distracted by a lot of things. I'm just in solitary in a way. And so that for me has made me think a lot more about, oh my gosh, there's a lot of people that I haven't seen in a while that should mean a lot to me. So it's really making me think about my own personal sort of connections with family from far. It's a strange thing that this quarantine and this time alone has forced me to think about, the things that it has forced me to think about. Okay. But I'm a nomad. I can literally go far for a very long time and be distracted by work and this and whatnot. So all of that has been taken away from me, and for most of us. And I think, if I was the president, I would be like, okay, cool. Just go out, and see your people. But then again, in real terms, and that's like utopia for now. That's an imaginary thing to be let go for 3 hours. And particularly the things that I mentioned, going to Northwest and going to see people that I haven't seen in a while. That is fictional for now. That shouldn't, and it can't happen. So I think it's not gonna happen. I mean, this is serious. People need to take care of themselves. Yeah. People need to make sure that we basically saving each other. We're like heroes to one another. That's true. When we follow the guidelines, we're saving each other. Yeah. That's the love, I think, that we can show each other. That's the best kind of love. When we discipline ourselves and we stay away and we follow the God, then we really truly love each other. Yeah. Yeah. So now tell me, I know that you have a strong relationship with your son, and my question, the question that I want to ask you is that, as a father to your son, what is it that you want your son to learn from you? I want him to know. I want my boy to know that you can't be afraid. You can't be afraid, and you can talk about your fears, but do it anyway. But I failed so many times. I've got like 1,000 failures. Few wins. I think my wins, somebody might, because they're epic. When I win, sometimes it's like epic. It's epic. When I win. So people that they could like misinform people and, you know, make them think that, yo, this guy is successful and whatnot.
That's true.
I mean, yes, but you know, you have no idea the failures that, you know, embarrassing sometimes publicly, personally, you know. But you know, I want them to know that when that happens, boy, you keep going. Wow. You keep going. You know, you keep going. And sometimes we fear because we have enemies and they're saying things about us. You know, I've been in situations where people were saying things at work, treating me weirdly, laughing when I trip, when I do some, with a special kind of energy in their spirit. And you see that, energy does not lie. But, you know, I would say to him, keep going nonetheless. You know, other people are chosen. Yeah, other people are chosen and they're celebrated before you, and you're there. You know, you are ignored. You know, or you feel like an imposter. You feel, you know, I never feel like the chosen one. And that's why I laugh when I win big. I'm like, wow, how did I, you know, that's why I can walk the streets normally. You know, that's why when somebody says it, you know, I never really get excited when somebody says Gaddafi or whatever. I don't get excited because you know, by the time you see me in the streets, you probably can call me there when I'm in studio and you're visiting. You know, I'll probably give you a hug, we take a picture, we're like, okay, cool, thanks for watching the show. But by the time you meet me in the street, I'm Vuyo, because it doesn't go to my head. So, you know.
Can we go to that one later? For now, since we're speaking about your son, ne? Yes, yesterday I had a conversation with someone, and one of the things that we touched, we were speaking about her childhood days in school, and I know you once told me a story about when you were growing up, how in your community you were nicknamed because of how skinny you were, and you know, those are kind of things that breaks people. And some of these things, they haunt us even at our old age. So how did you deal with that during your school days?
Oh, geez, man. You know, it was quite hectic at school. You know, I think I was protected because it was so painful. It was such a painful time for me, you know. You know, this is not a all the way from the beginning, dog. I remember kindergarten, I was picked on. I was picked on by the teachers. I was picked on by someone was just, because I was an easy target. I was very sensitive, and, you know, I couldn't retaliate verbally. And, I was afraid to retaliate physically as well. You know, so I didn't have anything to actually defend myself. And yes, I was skinny. You know, that did not end. You know, I'd go home and I'd have somebody, you know, belittling me and teasing me about my size, you know, body shaming me. And, you know, the people at home that did that, I know for now, I'm completely sure that they love me. Yeah. If I lost everything today, they would still be there for me, you know. I can't tell you about the people that I went to school with, and, you know, the people, you know, I can't tell you that. You know, so it was incredibly painful for a young man who could not necessarily, you know, reach out to his father, you know, because he was gone at that time, you know, at some stage, you know, when I was in, you know, standard. What grade is it? Grade 5?
Yeah.
I don't know, standard.
It's grade 5.
Yeah, grade 5. Yeah, by the time I was there, I think he was gone, you know. and he was living his life. So I didn't have easy access to him. This hero, this powerful dude that could shut people up. And I think maybe that's the universe, as God saying, you gotta, you gotta deal with this. You've gotta embrace it. This is your world now. Your father cannot protect you. Initiate you into, whether you're Xhosa or Zulu, whatever, life will initiate you. You will be a man. You will be a man, whether you or not. So that was my journey, and so it was incredible. I'll tell my son, listen, it's your time. You've gotta take the pain. When I was teaching him how to ride a bicycle, he learned it so quickly. And he would get excited when he got it right, momentarily. And I would say, what are you smiling at? Well, don't laugh. Okay. Concentrate on what you did right. Okay. Concentrate only on what you did. Don't be distracted by, oh, my daddy is watching me. And I said all of that to him. I'm looking at you. No, this is not me. This is your life. This is you. And he's smart. And when you teach him, he's smart. He can see that you're teaching him, and it's a valuable thing. From then on, he's not smiling. He's checking what he's doing. He's trying to figure out, what he did wrong, what he did right, and he learned it very quick. 3 days. 3 days. I took off the training wheels, and he smiled at me. He was like, yeah. When I took the first time, and
I guess you felt proud.
Yeah, he's a boy, and I don't want to be sexist or anything, but the testosterone is crazy. So he wants to jump. He wants to see how far, how fast, and that sort of thing. So when I took the training wheels, I was basically saying to him, I trust you. I know you can do this. That's why he smiled.
Yeah, I see here somebody commented, the Sila is asking, how old is your son?
He's 5.
He's 5. Okay. So now tell me, I know that you are a fan of hip hop music, and also me, I'm also a fan. And with me, as when I was still a child, what happened is I used the hip hop as an escape because it was addressing real life issues. What made you to fall in love with hip hop?
I don't know. It was me. It was me, and it's one of those few moments as a young man where you just have an epiphany. You just have this natural sort of understanding, because I got excited when I realized that we created rock and roll.
Wow.
But until then, I thought, they created rock and roll. They pioneered rock and roll.
Yeah.
And so blues and, jazz and, hip hop for me was like, this is me.
Okay.
I can identify with me. Yeah. But also, I think, that whole, my father had, gangster sort of feel about him. And so I think that's why I had an affinity towards it. I started off with Ellie, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Ice Cube. Ice Cube, of course, came before Snoop Dogg and them. And and I fell in love with that, and I think it told, like you say, it was like the newspaper for the ghetto. It showed us miles and miles away how black people are living. And you can see now, black people are getting shot, like left, right, and center, defenseless in America. And I had a conversation with an American, the other day, and I touched on that, and she just could not stop talking about that. And you know, Tupac, and you know, he had like a shootout with the police because they were, you know, harassing a black lady. You know that about?
No, I don't know about.
Tupac was a beast. You know, he was not like you and me. I mean, I don't know about you. You probably, you know, a stronger person than I am. You know, but he was there. He was the truth, and that's why I felt like they were more real than, you know, their counterpart. You know, you know, Brooklyn, and they know how to play with words and whatever. They know that. There's something about, you know, the LA, you know, guys. They're like more. It's for me, real, you know. So I think just identified with it as a black man. I just feel like it's brilliant. So it's brilliant to listen to it and you start doing like a porn. You know, it's like, oh my, that's intelligence.
Yeah. So from hip hop side, growing up, which song did you like the most?
I did Ain't Nothing But a G Then, baby. Too low, that figure's got crazy. Dead throw is a label, paid me. Unfadable, so please fade them. That's Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg did the thing. And hit him up with Tupac. You know, that was the...
Tupac was angry with Idiba. Please, let's not go there.
You did not need to do that to yourself, and, you know, cross Tupac and, you know, not be, you know, be an enemy with him, because he was not afraid, you know. Possibly Biggie gets it because Tupac was just too much for some people who were powerful. So they had, you know, that's my theory. They had to make it look like. You know, that's the sad thing about it. Yeah.
So which song?
And then Biggie as well.
Pardon?
Yeah. Which song can I want?
Which song can you rap from A to Z?
There's no song. In high school they used to call me Snoop Dogg, and I remember, and I used to do like, Snoop Dogg says, no, you can't do that to me. I can't do
just
that. The truth is,
dog.
That's the man. I get it. We tend to, you know, hinge on the chorus. And then it feels like but it doesn't matter. It's cool. We love them. They're good. That's what makes them so good. They remember all their lives and everything. They create them. And we just follow. We follow.
Yeah. So as Motswana, I know your Tswana people, they've lifted up the flag of hip hop in South Africa.
Oh my goodness!
From Motswako crew, which artist is out the most for you?
From Motswako crew, guys, I mean, I don't mean anything. I know people are big now, and they're great. And if I don't call out their name, I hope I'm not judged, but Duke Singanga hits me like a truck.
I knew it.
Singanga hits me like a freaking truck. I sit there like, You know, I was listening to a friend of mine, Kholi Nikiwe. He introduced me to a song of his. It's called Motswako Athlete. I listened to Motswako Athlete. I'm like, shit. I don't know that song. I don't know. I literally want to meet Duke Singanga and sit down with him and just, I can, you know, how do you do it? What's the inspiration? Get him on. I'll be on that live. I'm gonna watch that live. Duke Singanga.
I'll make sure I get him just for you, man.
Please get Duke Singanga Tabatum.
Now let's talk about your love for Bruce Lee. And I want us to look at it from the light of consistency. Let's talk about your love from the perspective of consistency.
So he says that as long as I can remember, I've always had this energy in me. You know, couldn't help. I'm paraphrasing. I could not help but it has always moved me. You know, I have no power over this energy. You know, and I think, yes, people, you know, willpower, understand it, and what have you. But I think people have gifts, right? Strength. It's a strength, and I told you that, you know, I can come back. I keep coming back. You know, I can lay low for a while and come back. It's a thing in me. Bruce did something else that, you know, compelled. He couldn't sit down. He could not sit. You gotta leave it alone. You know, Clement does something that I cannot do. You gotta leave it alone. I can't touch it.
Yeah.
Sive, Mick, Celia, you know, Sila, they've got something that they do. You gotta leave it. You know what I'm saying? But you can observe them, you can absorb them, and ask them questions and find out, you know, how do you do it? You probably, you know, find that, you know, they have their challenges, but they will give you an idea how they do it, you know. But my theory for me is that start small and keep building. Consistency in everything. We get bogged down by emotion. We get bogged down by emotion. Emotion comes from challenges that we get in life and what have you. But, you know, kind of, you know, find a way to deal with the emotion. And Bruce Lee talks about emotions. He says, if they drive you, you are in trouble. If you're look, we're emotional beings, and that's why we fall in love. That's why we get married. But they can be negative as well. Emotions can be negative like everything else. So when the negative emotions come, that's why I said we're not an island.
I think
we stop.
How about to this one? You add that story of feeding a good wolf and stabbing a bad one.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I think you know, that's a story I learned a long time ago. You know, the boy says, you know, you know, the mother says to, you know, the boy says, and I think my ex-wife taught, I don't know if I told her that or whatever, but, you know, my son knows the story. You know, that if two wolves are fighting, you know, which one will win? There's a good wolf, there's a bad wolf. Which one you will win? I don't know. And then it says, whichever one you starve will lose. Whichever one you feed will win. It becomes stronger.
So if we starve bad emotions, good ones will win.
Will win. You know what I mean? But, you know, it's not just about starving, it's about feeding as well. That detail, you mustn't leave it out. The detail is you must feed the one that you want to win. You gotta feed the one that you want to win. You gotta feed good feelings and positivity. When somebody wins, don't be jealous, don't have ill feelings. Practice right there and then to support them in your heart and celebrate. If you do that, then you feeding the good wolf. Something like that.
That's beautiful.
And then you become a very happy person, because these things, you know, are messing with you. These weird emotions. Now I come a long way with emotions, and we talked about hip hop, and I mentioned Tupac. I grew up as I was an angry young man. And I purchased Machiavelli. Machiavelli was one of the realest sort of you know, productions by Pac. And anger, and there's venom, and there's just, I'm gonna get these people. They don't understand. They hated me, they robbed me, they did not give me love for love. When I gave them love, hate. You know, that's how I felt. And then he was going, you know, and all his life as a young man, the trouble that he went to. And I felt that because it's real. Pac is real. And I realized that, you know what, this is crazy. I can't keep listening to this guy because I'm not well myself. I can listen to talk now. But at the time I broke up in pieces, and I kid you not, that hole, and I buried it. So you gotta lay low, Park. You gotta lay low for now, because I know I'm hungry.
Yeah. So now tell me about your vision for your community. What's the name of your community? Yeah, because I know one of your desires is to give back to the community. What's your vision for your community?
My vision for my community is, the vision I have for, Black people, I think, all over the world.
Yeah.
I think, Bantu Biko speaks about Black consciousness.
Yeah.
Black consciousness, I feel like, has a lot to do with healing from the incredibly difficult past that we come from.
Yeah.
As Black people all over the world. We were taught to fear. We were taught insecurity, knowledge taken from us, education, and all of these things, Don't get me wrong, without education, Black people are wise still and they're intelligent. But when you add to them fear, when you add to them insecurity, they forget that they are. Fear and insecurity it takes up, wisdom and intelligence. That's my opinion. That's, when you are fearful, when you're insecure, your mind is not open to sit down clearly and speak or do things or be creative, because fear is a prison, and you stay there. You can't do anything. That's how much fear is a prison. So I would say and I know, it's very few who have come out of it, and I see it, in this country. But I think the violence, against women, against each other, against, men against men, men against women, women against, the alcoholism, the substance, dependency, the failure to move on and grow in life. When you look on a large scale, we are going through a very difficult time.
True.
And it doesn't seem like we are going to win, Somebody was saying economic freedom, we were taught, finances, we weren't taught finances when we were growing up. Other races are taught, finances are just a very normal topic to them. They talk about it all the time. And he was saying, we need to start talking finances and learning and growing, financially. He says, when you are behind and another race is up again, ahead of you, how do you catch up? He says, you try and run faster than that person to catch up with them. And that means you've got to do what they're doing twice as much.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
No,
so to answer your question, I would say my vision would be for us to kind of revisit Black consciousness.
Yeah.
Revisit, and I feel like that's the first thing that should have been prioritized when we got freedom.
Yeah.
I think a lot of things were prioritized, but actually what Stephen Biko was talking about. And I think it was the first thing that we should have actually concentrated on, because apartheid was not a haphazard thing. It was planned. It was designed to dehumanize a person, to turn us into animals. You're not allowed education, or yours is to work. You're not fit enough to learn, our knowledge or whatever books to read. And then, by the way, you cannot live with us. Go and live somewhere there out there. men were called boys in front of their children and their women. And they could walk into your house and take your woman and do whatever it is they want. I played a character, Mike Masot. He passed away, time. And his wife was taken from him during the struggle. And she was taken to jail, just like he couldn't do anything. He could not do a thing. They took his wife. I mean, the scenes played by Lerato, I know what's her name. Why am I forgetting this beautiful, beautiful, powerful actress? Her name. Anyway, she is great in it. But the scenes that they do there, it's like, you see actually what this woman went through. And I mean, on a large scale, a lot of things happened. Some people were killed, thrown off, from high story buildings, hanged, electrocuted, shot. Children lived in fear all the time. So it's it's like sustained traumatic events in our lives. And you tell me that, we just get on with life. It's like, the Rainbow Nation, that's it. You can't do that.
True.
When a person goes to a traumatic event, what do? They go see a therapist. A therapist deals with it. They go see something. They have to deal with. Either they deal with it properly, or they will probably drink. They'll become an angry person. They will beat their wife, or they will beat their husband, or they will kill. They will violence. They will depend on substances that will numb the pain if they don't deal with the issue. Can you tell me of anything that we did, any program that we anything that we did to deal with our PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder? Can you tell me any program that we implemented in this country to do that?
None, absolutely none.
So now what do you expect? What do people expect when they see the killings and the violence, the disrespect towards women, towards each other, the lack of love for self? That I do this to improve my life. You know what I'm saying? That's the vision I have. I say, resurrect the man.
Yeah.
Resurrect Stephen. Let him lead black people around the world.
Yeah.
Resurrect him.
When you talk like this, I'm also reminded of his famous quote that says, "The most potent weapon of the oppressor, it is the mind of the oppressed." And it seems like even today, the oppressor still owns the minds of the black people. And I believe that since we have started with this kind of dialogues, it paves a way that will lead us to that stage where we will even implement such programs which will become therapeutic to our people and liberating. That's my belief. So now tell us about your journey from Yizo, when you were still playing as the fly, my right on Yizo.
Yeah. So I started off with I
want us to take it from there, because when you were on Yizo, the drama on its own, it was at its peak. And I believe from where I'm seated right now, when you were there, it felt as though you made it in the industry. And now from Yizo, there was a decline. You find yourself working at the construction site. I'm raising these things so that people who are listening can learn about the importance of these things.
Please, yeah. I kind of started before then, but then let's I understand why you want to start at Yizo. I kind of in a way beg to differ, because I think the first one, was it hit us really well, hard. It was something new. I don't think there'll ever be anything like it as real as Yizo. The second one, I watched it from home. I thought, you know, it was hit by like this feeling. Actually, I'm gonna be on this show one day. You know, that's how I felt. I'm gonna be in this show one day. And cut a long story short, I did the third one. It was fairly great. I mean, it was still riding on the first one, and people were like, "Yeah, Yizo," and a lot of people watched that show. And then I got to do it, and you know, it was finished. And you know, when these series, when they end, you know, you gotta move on to something else as a working actor. It's not like a CP where you guaranteed if you're a contractor thing. And you know, sometimes it takes a while for you to get back into another one. I mean, we didn't have a lot back in, I don't know, did we have ETV? And I don't know. Even
ETV was there, but we struggled with finding Ariel because DSTVs were expensive.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So there wasn't a lot really going on, you know? So, I mean, it's really opened up now. So, you know, so I had to kind of survive in other ways. I mean, I would go to Durban years later. This is how Yizo was. I'd go to Durban years later, and I was with my wife at the time. And we were blown away. I mean, you know, it's such a fly, and I was like, hey, I couldn't understand. I mean, like, I had finished the show quite a while ago, years ago, and they still recognized, you know, me, and I was still nothing. I wasn't even, you know, the generations was like far off. It was like not even thought. And we were amazed in Durban. That's why I love Durban so much. Just for that, man, I could be anywhere in South Africa and I'd be just like anybody, and they, you know, didn't recognize. But in Durban, for some reason, it's a flight. And he's a Tswana speaking dude, you know. But anyway, that's how it reached far beyond. And I think, you know, after that, there's no work, and I'm like, yo, what am I gonna do? Construction work. And I'm not even like an artist when it comes to that. I'm not like a technical, you know, bricklayer or whatever. I'm just like freaking mixing I'm the supporting guy. I'm like throwing the bricks. I'm picking up the bricks, running to them. And these niggas are looking at me like, guy, you know, that's a fly, and I feel this like, that's a fly. It's so embarrassing. And but you know, you put your head down, and you're like, you know, it's me. That's the weird thing, you know, where, you know, it wasn't like, yeah, now don't you know, I shouldn't be here or whatever. But the feeling is, and then that I'm trying to answer your question now. The feeling is pretty similar to Bruce. I've always had that thing. There, it's. To tell you the truth, that's just me. I've always had that thing that I'm getting somewhere. I know. Okay. This is my thing.
Now I hear
you. Know, I know. It's like knowledge. It's like something that is not taught to me. No one in my life told me that you are this. No one that respect and look up to has said this to me. I know this from as far as I can remember in my mother's home. You know, as a boy, you know, I wonder when I look at my boy, does he know? Because I knew his fire. I knew way back. It was no, you know, Muhammad Ali says it's about the age of 12. I knew I wanted to be a fighter. So I know the concept, you know, and I get surprised when people are confused, and I wonder why, because it's a gift. It's like, it's the design. When you are made, I don't know what confuses people. When you are made, you are given that.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I can tell you, you know, you just know, and then you cannot, no one can take that away from you. So when I was low, and you know, you know, bricklay, I mean, you know, throwing the bricks up, and I wrote a poem on Twitter. I said, you know, I am you, you are me. You know. If you are doing those bricks right now, if you are mixing that cement and whatever, running around,
yes, sir,
you are me. And if you are waiting tables at a restaurant, you are me, because I do that.
Wow.
Yeah, I worked for Mug and Bean. Whether I sucked or I was good, that's another story. But I waited tables, and you know, that's post, you know, Yizo as well. Everything that I did, any job that I did after Yizo, probably Zone 14 as well. You know, and so it was a bit an interesting sort of you know, situation. But I think Jesus, I mean, I don't talk a lot about Jesus, and I think I've had my falling out, you know, with religion. But you know, if you look at his story, he's literally God walking amongst us. He's letting us crucify him. He's letting us disrespect him. He's going through all of that. You know, Jesus, that's what it means, God with us. You know, so it's the same concept. It doesn't matter where you are right now. You've got to, you see, that's the problem. If you don't know who you are and why you're here, why you're supposed to do this, then that's how you suffer. But if you know that it can't be taken away from you,
yes, sir,
you go through that. Yeah, you know that this is me. It's been handed over to me by somebody who doesn't fear, who doesn't have to take a shit, who doesn't have to fear anything. Whether it's the universe or God, something more powerful than these people who are judging you, more powerful than these situations that you're going through. I mean, I cried. You know, I cried many times. I listened to R. Kelly. You know, I believe I can fly. You know, I listened to that song, you know, and I cry because I know it's the truth. You understand me? I know it's the truth. Hey, man, you know, I know it's the truth, but, you know, there's nothing, you know. Are you still there with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm crying because I know that, yes, I'm good. This is my I have a saying: take it like a man for now. Take it like a man for now. Take it.
Yeah.
Take the cross and just sit down. Embrace the chaos. Embrace the chaos. I've seen a lot of fighters who are less talented, but they're just determined. They know something about themselves. They know why they're here. You know, so you can put them on like,
we are left with 23 seconds.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
It's gonna be auto end. So what do you suggest? 10 seconds to go.
We can call again if you still have some other stuff.
Yeah, let me do so.
Yo, that's massive.
Yes, sir. Yeah, because the point that you are touching on now, it's very much important. I'm saying the point you are touching on right now, it's very much important. You were speaking about your belief, saying that I believe I can fly. And I know some people who are listening right now, they're just on the edge of giving up. So I want you to continue on that one so that people who are listening can draw inspiration from your real life story.
Yeah. So I mean, I was using the analogy of a less talented fighter with a very talented fighter. So he's getting a beating. He's getting a beating. So every time he gets a beating, the crowd roars with joy. Every time he falls down, that is celebrated. He's embarrassed. He's going through it. But I've seen something with people like that, with fighters like that. It's as if they decide, okay, I am getting a beat down right now. So they don't concern themselves with the crowd and how the crowd is reacting or whatever. They just accept. They accept that I am getting an ass kicking right now. What they do is because that is off their mind. They worry how people are seeing them, how people are thinking, whatever they're saying. In your life, people would say things. They concentrate on just what they need to do. So they start settling down because they're not worried about who's thinking what or the pain or whatever. Because we're here. I'm getting an ass beaten. I'm accepting it. I'm embracing the chaos. So they start thinking about what they need to think. And everybody makes mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Even Floyd makes mistakes. It's just that when he realizes that I've made mistake, he adjusts.
Yeah.
And that's how he not beat him. That's why it's been very difficult to beat him.
Okay.
So Sugar Shane, rocked him. Marcos Maidana rocked him. Damn, I mean, Canelo, but he adjusted. So, but then I'm talking about a guy who is getting a beat down. All they do is, okay, now it's time to focus on what I need to do. I'm gonna wait for those mistakes. Start studying this person. He starts studying this person. What do I need to do? But all along, he's in the pain, and people are singing things about him, saying things about him. And my God, I mean, last minute, these guys win. I saw a guy. I saw a guy fighting against Manny Pacquiao, Mexican fight. Manny Pacquiao is Philippine. And Manny Pacquiao is like one of the greatest, killing machines that we've ever seen in boxing. That guy literally turns men and professional fighters into children. He beats them. He does whatever he wants with them. He couldn't do that with Floyd. He was doing this thing with this guy. I can't remember his name. This guy was surviving. He was, he's trying to, he was surviving. You could see that he's accepted that he's getting a beat down. Can I tell you what? I think 7th round, Pacquiao was on his face, struggling to breathe. The same guy who was the guy who's not necessarily as talented or strong or whatever, he was down. And the guy who was getting beat up had won, fair and square, knocked out cold. And that's my approach to us life. It's difficult. Yeah, I'm working at tables. I'm not saying I'm less talented or anything. I believe in the gift, And so what I do is I just keep going, It's okay. My life, just embrace it. You can't give up. My career is older than some people listening to this conversation. I've been at it for over 20 years.
Wow.
And if you subtract the time, the years I've been with Generations, which is 6 or 7 years, you're looking at 14 years where I was not successful and I'm struggling, going back to waiting tables, doing this and that, no consistent work, So I would say, can you imagine if I had given up? There's no Queen Sono.
Yeah.
No fingers for Marseille. There's no generations. There's nothing. There's no life. You know, none of them.
You knew that there's something in you calling.
That's the thing. You know, that's the I think that's the end all and be all. Jesus knows who he was and why he's here. That's what keeps him going. So your why is very important. Why? You know, if you don't know who you are and what you're here for, you are fucked. I mean, use the French. Then you can't keep going. If there's nothing that you love, if it's not because something that you love, you're passionate about, and then you know it's your thing. I don't know what passion is. I don't know, man. I just know that if you know why you're here, like it's your thing. I don't know how to explain it. Muhammad Ali says, at the age of 12, I knew that I'm going to be a fighter. He knew that. You know, if you don't know why.
You know, when you're talking like this, I'm reminded of a video that I saw recently. I was watching that one with my wife, taking a buffalo, and of course buffalo, you know, with size, it's big, you know, and that lion kept on attacking, trying to kill the buffalo, and the buffalo need to strike back time and again. Its only defense is its horns. So with the horns, the lion time and again it will lie low. So when it lies low, the buffalo can't touch it, even if the buffalo is big in size. The more it lies low, the buffalo can't touch it. When the buffalo tries to run away, then now the lion will go back and attack, you know. And to an extent that many buffaloes came. When they came in that scene, the lion did the strategy again. It lied low. So I want you to tell people about your lying low strategy, the strategy that you used when you could tell that there's a big catch coming. Which strategy you used time and again when life tried to hit hard against you?
Yeah, look, I think one of the things is if you have somebody that you can talk to, if you have a good support system, and I'm really lucky to have a great support system, right? But also how I am, you know, mentation, you know, are you there with me?
Yeah.
Are you there, King?
Yeah.
So I think it's all part of it, you know. And how I approach you know, my training and everything. Like I said, I mean, I couldn't afford gym, and but just the knowledge of what I need to do and why I'm here, you know, I would be running the streets doing push-ups and body weight and whatever, exercise. You know, I'd be considering what I eat. You know, reading books on acting, just watching.
So one of your strategy is to always find an alternative.
It's for me. I said I know my strengths, like the lion. The buffalo is built in a way that it can't reach the lion.
Yeah.
When it goes low, right? And that's the lion's strength. It digs and it moves. So I know my strengths. I know, and my strengths come from the things that you love, the things that you're good at, and I think things that come easy to you. It's a gift. It's, you know, like I said, something that cannot be taken away from you. So what I did was I worked as hard as I could on my strengths. You know, the martial arts, you know, when you watch Queen Sono, it comes through. You watch Five Fingers, it comes through. When you watch, you know, Gaddafi, for instance, it comes through, you know. I think if I look carefully, Henry Clement is the last guy that did the whole leading man, like a, you know, he physically, presence, performance, you know. you know Henry Cele, right? Shaka Zulu.
Oh yeah.
Shaka Zulu.
Yeah, I know.
Shaka Zulu. Yeah, he is the last guy, if I remember. Now I remember somebody played a boxer, but he didn't really look. I mean, Shaka Zulu with those kicks. You know, I think in karate they call him Maigeri, the front kicks. You know, physically, and when he moved, and when he speared, when he fought, you could tell that guy worked on physicality. So he was believable as Shaka Zulu. Even when if I dream Shaka Zulu, if I think Shaka Zulu, I'm not gonna go to the statue or the drawings. I think Shaka Zulu is in you know.
Sure.
So the man just because Shaka was athletic, you know, he was brave, he had that thing. So it's important physically. If they had chosen somebody who's not interested in all of that, we would have gotten a different Shaka Zulu, right? We wouldn't have had the same impact. And I think it's part of acting where, you know, you see Denzel Washington, you know, Will Smith, you know, they have to beat themselves into shape and do the things correctly. Ali, the other one is playing Ruben Hurricane Carter, that's Denzel. They get in shape. It's like it's a part of acting. And this is not social media. This is not influencer time. This is acting. You know, if I come in, and like there's Gaddafi there, and he's powerful, and he's a Gaddafi is in the brief. Who the character is when he was written down? He's a fighter.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, Vuyo.
I'm listening.
Yeah, we are going to Gaddafi now. Yeah, as a point of departure. I want you to put it this way. This morning I was watching interview that Jay-Z did, and one of the things that he was speaking about on. Are you able to hear clear?
I'm listening, my king.
Okay, yeah. One of the things that he said, of which stood out for me, he said, his whole entire life as Jay-Z, he learned the importance of walking into every room as himself, not anybody else. And this, when I heard it, it reminded me of you when you went for your for your audition at Generations. Yeah. You went there with your mohawk on, and then one of the things that you once said is that you knew that they are looking for a criminal, a gangster, and then in your mind, the first thing that came in your mind was Papa Action, and you are not dead at all, but still you went into the room as yourself. Take us through that one.
Look, I mean, it's one of the things that I'm gonna tell my son. Like I said, it's a fear and it's an insecurity, but do it anyway. You know.
Okay.
And when I got there, when I got there, I saw people that I'd respect as actors. You know, auditioning for the role, and that it made me even more insecure. And you know, and then. You know,
so you also sometimes feel insecure.
Oh, all of the time. All of the time. That's like my friend. That's my friend. That's the security. He's always there. He's always there. But you know, there's nothing. There's no Queen Sono. There's no Five Fingers. There's nothing. You know, if I back down and. If I listen to the insecurity.
Wow.
It's always there. I'm different. I mean, people walk around confident and I'm different. I deal with the insecurity all the time.
Okay.
Yep. Don't think of me any other way.
Yeah.
If you remember that insecurity goes with this guy all the time, but I do it anyway. I kid you not, I do it anyway. And that was a thing. My father was a hard man. He was the gangster type. I'm not. You know. and play badasses. You know, Generations, Five Fingers for Marseille, and Queen Sono. These badasses that are celebrated. And now, you know, Shandu on Queen Sono, I get like from all over the world. Brazil the most, America second, and then other places. It's like, whoa! If I'd listened to that insecurity, then I'm fucked. I wouldn't get that. I wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be calling me. You wouldn't be talking. But he's always with me. Insecurity.
So I could that day for audition at Generations.
Yeah.
And
months before, I think a couple of months before I, you know, cut my hair into a mohawk. It was just the feeling that I need something new. And then I got a call. And then when I got there, I'm like, I just did not fit the whole thing. I've got this mohawk, and I've got this sweet face. And Totsital is not there like Papa action, like, you know, like, they've got away, you know what I'm saying? Like my orange, you know. So they've got away. I don't have that, you know. So I get in there and I'm like,
but still you go.
Like, yeah, like, but what the fuck am I gonna do? But let me just do this, you know. Let me go in, and I do the audition, and it's like, what the fuck? So excuse my language, my king. You know what the hell? 3 days later, or something like that. Yo, dude, come on in.
Okay.
You've got this. You know, I'm like doing like a first meeting with the new cast and crew. You know, I see Latoya, then I'm like, whoa, Latoya, yeah, how you doing? And it was written, you know. Clement.
I think it was your network. You were still speaking about Latoya.
This is people that call without, you know, asking first. Anyway, yeah. So so I had that, and I was like, and then I did it anyway, my king. You know, I did it anyway, and I got the part. I worked. You know, met up with Latoya. Latoya's a great person. Righteous chick, I would say. You know, there are no issues there. And I got it. Even Five Fingers, I had trouble. You know, this guy's hard, and he's, you know, he's from jail, whatever. And I'm like, dude, why are you calling me? But let me go anyway. You know. Shandu, you know, I've already had built the confidence from Gaddafi and, you know, Five Fingers, and I'd seen, okay, there's a thing about me. You know, acting, even if you haven't murdered someone, you do have the capability of doing it. So you take it from that and you build it, and you build it in, you know, the one thing that you cannot do as a human being, you have it. If you are pushed far enough, you would do it. You know, so I think that's where we try and that's that little thing, and then you build it, and you pick something that's similar to it, emotion that you know, and then you wrap it around that. And it's that, and the mind, you know, believes it, and then whoa.
Yeah, you know, when you speak about the mind of believing it. There's this other video the other day I've sent it to you of this basketball player.
Kobe Bryant.
What's his name?
Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, he was speaking about the importance of mental switching from who he is and getting into the character of a play. As a basketball player, you know, the importance of mental switch.
Yeah.
So I want to check with because obvious when you play the character Gaddafi, it requires a lot of mental switch on its own. So after shooting your scenes, sometimes don't you find yourself getting Vuyo and walk out of the studio as Gaddafi?
No, I know. I have to think of something intelligent to say, but I want to say something intelligent and interesting, but I've always had the gift, the ability to just walk away. And the reason I am able to walk away is because, and I would repeat myself, this is what I tell people, this is what helps me. It's all very natural. It's my life. My ex-wife, she knows my nonsense, my bullshit, my weaknesses, my insecurities. You don't know that, but she knows that. My mother, my older brother, my younger brother, my sister, they all know that. My friends, closest friend, they know my nonsense, my bullshit. So I'm just gonna look very silly if I walk up there like Gaddafi, because I'm not that. So they, people around me sort of bend me back into shape, and I do believe that it's just a day at the office, really. It's nothing to be, to feel special about or to hold on to. And thirdly, I actually really do love myself. When all this time, Shandu, I love his qualities. I love certain things about him. I love certain things about Gaddafi. I like certain things about, Dao on Five Fingers for my say. It's a fly. You name them. Pastor Umpi. You name them. Tata Mike Masoch. You name them. But
so you want to take the past?
Yeah.
Okay.
The person you were talking to yesterday, we still have to have a chat with her, but she knows something about her about me that's found out recently, something that's very similar. Part of my life is similar to hers. So we'll sit down, we'll talk one day. Yes, I could be that character. I was that character. That one, I was. Don't peel out that character.
Yeah. So do you know a movie called General Aladdin?
Nah.
You don't know that movie. So it's this guy. The movie I think it was shot in the United States of America. So many people have requested number of interviews, not with the actor, but the character that the actor is playing. Like for example, somebody calls you and says to you, "We want to interview Gaddafi and not Vuyo Dabula." Would you do that?
Yeah. I wouldn't.
Why?
Wouldn't. Hey man, I wouldn't understand the thing. I might just do it. Just it's an idea that it's like an acting exercise. I would do it as an exercise. We're in a room and I say, okay, let's work on something. Let's imagination and whatnot. But I really feel comfortable, acting. And that's why I'm so real. I only feel comfortable acting at work when I'm acting. I just feel if that's the other thing why I'm able to switch. At that moment, I feel the realness, I feel the connection, I feel whatever it is that I'm feeling that's helping me to play the character, inspired by whatever situation on set or home, whatever. I use everything. I'm comfortable being vulnerable and taking all these things. But when I leave, I just want to get back to Vuyo. I love myself.
how do you deal with people who approach you on the streets, not looking for Vuyo but Gaddafi in you?
That's my fear. That's my fear. Like if I meet somebody and I like them, I wonder if they like Gaddafi, and if when they find out who Vuyo is, they'll be like, I'd prefer Gaddafi. I've heard comments like, they see a scene on Generations, the guy is angry, and somebody will say, I like you angry. What do you mean? That's that dude. You wouldn't want to see me angry. But some people have seen me angry, and it can be quite quite intense. So anybody that knows Vuyo on that level, they can say that. But when somebody approaches me as Gaddafi, I've learned to kind of relax.
Okay.
Extend my hand, relax, and I extend my hand. I'm like, hi, Vuyo Dabula. And then some people get stunned, and then I have to say, and what's your name? And then they tell me their name. I'm like, nice meeting you. Nice meeting you. Because it's important for me. Yes, you love the character, but it's deeper for me when I meet people and they get to know me. And I think if you know me, you will appreciate the work.
True.
Because I'm different. I think if you know me, you appreciate the work more. Because I'm different from him. And sometimes I'm with my son as well, and I've taught him, he knows that I'm not that. But also I've started now relaxing, and I'm like, okay, and I introduce myself. And then sometimes, I think the whole thing is I'm different from him, and sometimes I'm with my son as well, and I've taught him, he knows that I'm not that. But also I've started now relaxing, and I'm like, okay, and I introduce myself. And then sometimes, I think the whole thing is it removes me from being a regular African man.
Okay.
A regular African man, there's an understanding that, I'm gonna call you Bramang or Butuame, or Oswaka, sister, mama, baba. We do that. In a multiracial situation, a church, whatever, you'll see the white dudes are called John, Stephen, but the black dudes are called Baba Wat, Baba Mang, Pastor Mang. You know what I'm saying? So there's a respect before you call the person's name. It's like that. I can't take. So in the streets, I kind of I'm built that way, and then I get these kids going, hey Gaddafi, and they're barely, the pubic hair, I'm sure it's barely grown. Their mouths, their lips are barely off their mother's breasts. Hey Gaddafi. But then when did that, who gave anybody that? How did I change? I'm still an African dude. I'm still, and that's how I was raised. I call people who are younger than me because they look older than me, and then I find out that they're young, and I've been calling this guy Bramang Bang, because I'm built that. I'm built, so I expect for that people would approach me that way. So that veil, that the TV person, that the people that comes in, in front of people's eyes when they see a celebrity, when they see an actor, somebody they see on TV. I don't like that. You can be excited, you can be whatever it is. By all means, if I'm giving you what you want, it's great, the performance. But don't let that make you forget that I'm somebody's father, somebody's brother, and that sort of friend. And I could potentially help you right here, right now. I could potentially, you know what I mean, my work is just a day. It's like a work day at the office. It's like a day at the office. Excuse me. You know, it's like I'm working. Everybody works. Everybody works, and I'm working. Yeah.
True. We are approaching the end of our session, man, and yeah, I'm enjoying this. So I'm enjoying this of my sister. Sure. So at this stage of your life, give us one word that describes Vuyo Dabula. One word.
Childlike.
Please elaborate on that one.
Yo, I haven't been to church in a while, but you know, like I said, I have my, we've had a falling out. But there's a beautiful thing that Jesus says. He says that the children come to me. You know, he says, be like these children. For theirs the kingdom of heaven, right? Yeah.
But the kingdom of heaven is for those who are like them.
Exactly. Oh, I'm glad. Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time. So, heaven for me, when I posted something and I said, listen, on Twitter, I said, you know, do not let anybody's darkness drag you down. You know, yeah, don't do that. You know, when you're beautiful, you know, when children won't see your issues until they're older, and they're taught to see your issues. Wow. But to an extent, I'm a hero to my son right now. But there are things that he will find out about me that will disappoint him as he grows. You know, it'll be a difficult thing for him until he learns himself, like I did with my father. I judged until I grew up and life happened to me. And I'm like, whoa, rest in peace, though. You gotta rest in peace. You've been through a lot. So, you don't have that if you're childlike. I've had situations at work where, like I said, you know, I've been treated weirdly by certain people, and but I love them. I don't know, for some reason, I love their work. You know, and to this day, I've won some of them over. And now there's a form of respect, mutual respect, there's a form of love, and we talk. But I did not retaliate when they were doing whatever they were doing. I spoke to some people who approached me about them. And that's how disturbing it would get. But there's a mutual respect now, because I kept on saying, you know, greeting when they come out, greeting, you know, yeah, you know. For as long as I don't know why I'm like this, but I'm childlike.
Wow.
You know, it's an incredible thing. That's heaven on earth, the kingdom. You know, if the kingdom really exists and it's all that good as it's written, then it is so true. Being childlike, being like those children, you see heaven right here. And the world opens up. That's what I believe. It's good energy when you don't return bad for bad. Wow. I know kids, they pick up, you know, toys on their own, and they do this and they fight. But even in that, while they're doing that, they're so innocent. that emotion is so innocent. It's not out of a bad, they manipulate and whatever, but they're so innocent. I mean, they will go after an abuser over and over again. They will want the love of an abuser. That's why people go crazy when they're old. It's like, what is going on with me? How could I do that? That's the bad part. That's why we need to protect children, because that's the thing about being childlike. I can protect myself now, but the childlikeness helps me to move in a room of sharks with a smile. With the smile, yeah, like, and I genuinely feel like, oh shit, that dude is great. But for some reason, I know this guy has it in for me. But I love this guy. What the hell is wrong with me? I love this guy, you know what I mean? You should retaliate. You should. I can't do that. That's too heavy for me. I'm not man enough. I'm child enough to just be at peace and still feel like you're great. So it's a very strange teaching, but I think,
No, you taught it well. Ever since I've heard this verse and pastors preaching about it, I never had anyone teaching it like you. You've taught it well.
Yeah. Maybe I must get back. I'm gonna get my church coming.
Please come back, Vuyo. The Lord is calling you now.
He better not call me home. He just be calling me to church.
He's calling you to church.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now let's conclude with the following. I want you to complete the following sentences. I wish I was.
Yeah. Oh, wish I was rich.
Okay. But on Wikipedia, they wrote something saying your net worth is $1 million. I don't know if you saw it.
$1 million? What does net worth mean? Maybe I don't understand, because I don't have that kind of money. Is that why I'm getting so much attention lately? God damn it. Okay.
People see mentions, people see all these things.
In their head. Nah, man. Nah. I'm rich with other things, but I wish I had money.
Yeah.
I want them. Yeah.
So the next one is I don't know how to. Did you get that?
Yeah, I don't know how to. Sheesh, I love myself so much. I can't figure anything out. I think I can do anything. It's such a simple question. It's so difficult for me. I don't know how to. Goodness me. I don't know how to make a crowd laugh.
But I'm busy laughing.
Yeah?
I'm busy laughing here, and you're saying you don't know how to make the crowd laugh.
You see, I'm good. You see, one to person to person, just the two of us. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to sit on. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to sit under pressure and be like, okay, let's make people laugh now.
So you're one of those guys where the family they are looking for an MC. You wouldn't volunteer.
Nah, not like that. And they know, stay away from me.
But why Kahisoli is he not teaching you how to make some jokes? You know what I think. It's not like a repertoire of jokes. Okay.
But it's a sense of humor that you get. So Trevor Noah doesn't say things the way that Kahisoli says it, right?
Okay.
And I can say the simplest thing, and then I freaking just laugh, and I'm like, no, but then is that really funny? But like, why are you laughing? But I'm laughing. You know what I mean? So that's, you know, Kagisoli Diga has that. It's like a sense. It's like a sense of humor. You know, and he has his own interpretation. He has his own sense in that regard. Yeah. So spending time with him shooting, you know, you kind of get the rhythm and timing, and then he starts speaking slowly when he's funny, and it's like, you know, so I love the guy. I mean, he's short period of time. He feels genuinely. He feels like a brother. I don't know. He just has it. He just has it. I want to meet his parents. I don't know.
Okay, so let's move to the next one. Yeah, let's move to the next one. If I was, I would.
If I was?
If I was, fill in the missing word. If I was, I would.
I would, ne? If I was a fighter, I'd pursue that. That's another dream. If I was a fighter, I'd be a champion.
Okay.
If I was a fighter, I'd be a champion.
Okay.
Work ethic, imagination. Work ethic and my work ethic and imagination. I would be a champion.
You will be above Floyd Mayweather.
I'll be on that level.
Okay.
I don't want to be above Floyd.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't want to be above Floyd. Mike Tyson said that about Muhammad Ali. He said, I'm vain and all. But let all heads bow, knees and heads down to this man, because he is the greatest of all time. As a black man, I ain't trying to put another black man down. I will celebrate. We were given very little.
Wow.
We were given very little. We were given heroes from other nations. You know? And to this day, our heroes are being cut down by the media and whatnot. Still, the little that we have, we cut them down. So, Floyd, you know, I would be on his level, but he stays safe in my mind. I'm gonna protect him.
I respect him the best.
Yeah.
The next one, I can't stand.
I can't stand hate.
Okay.
Yeah. I can't stand hate, and you know, when you see it on Twitter, and I've heard people being on social media, you know, say something about, you know, Beyonce, and I've seen some interviews with Beyonce. I think I can feel her spirit, you know. I think she's herself. Whatever room she walks in, she's like her husband. Whatever she walks in, every room as herself. And that's why I think they're like this. I think she's a hard worker, very sweet. I think her friends can rely on her. You know, I think her sister feels safe around her, and that she can, you know what I mean? She's that type of person. She seems at her height of popularity and work. She seems very approachable and very supportive. But I've heard people say things like, yeah, you can't do this, you can't act, and why do you need to do that? Why do you need to do that? You're not the best presenter, you're not the best whatever. Why do you say that? And a lot of times people are sitting behind, pads and their phones, and they're typing. And there's not a lot of, I don't know, man. I just live your life, fight your own battles. Why do you have to reach out and say, yeah, whatever? Try and break people. And so I hate it when I see that. And somebody was surprised. They came to, Generations. They came to our studios there. He's an actor. I've seen him before. I think he's cool. So I walk up to him, I have a chat with him and whatever. Hey, how you doing? He seemed out of place. He seemed alone, lonely, And people just passing him like, hey man, these people are just passing this dude. He's not a legend or anything, but he's such a cool guy, So I go up to him and I have a chat with him. I chat with him. And just before we part ways, he says, oh, hold on. I'm like, he's so different from what I hear. I'm like, what do you mean? And I was shocked. I was like, how about now? At that time, I was very naive. I wasn't aware of these things. And he said to me, you're different from what people say, man. I couldn't get it. He's self-centered. You think you're better than it. Nah, bruh. I'm surprised. I'm like, really? This is, I said, nah, don't worry about it, brother. Don't worry about it. You good? And then we parted ways and left. So people are saying things about me. They hate. You don't know me. You haven't met me. You haven't talked to me, but you formulated a thing in your head.
True.
Why? What did I ever do to you? Except we talked about my struggles. You don't even know. Some people just come into the industry now. They only came in 10 years ago. I was here over 20 years ago. So, but what can I say? That's why I hate. As black people, we've been. I hate. We're like, I despise it. As black people, we've been the subject of like ridicule and subjugation and so many things. And then here you are sitting there like just hating on a person you've never spoken, a black man. So that doesn't make sense. It's like an emotion that's just given without any thought. You can make a person suffer. People can formulate ideas about you because you're running your mouth about them. It's destructive, divisiveness. It's like you throw a matchstick into the forest and it burns. And you don't know me, but a lot of people now have a whack ideas about who I am. Hold back, brother. When you hear something, hold back and wait until you meet the person.
True. I respect that.
Yeah.
So let's move to the next one. I like.
Oh my goodness, I like every. I like kind people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you're also kind.
No. Forget that. I do like kind people, but I think I want to give another something else. I think I like confident women.
Okay.
Yeah. The way they speak, the way they walk, and it's got nothing to do with whatever the world thinks what beauty is. Yeah. it's such an attractive thing. You know, they're not, according to the standards of society, they're not beautiful, but they walk in as like, as one of the most beautiful things. It's like the ninth wonder. If there's the ninth wonder, it's the 10th wonder of the world, you know. I just appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
So lastly, I've been dying to ask you this question. How was it like? How was it like working with L2C?
Look, I mean, first of all, I hope I don't get in trouble. You know, I don't know if there's a single person. If you don't think so, then I think she's beautiful. Before she opens her mouth and when she walks like down the street, you're thinking, goodness me, she's a beautiful woman. And then she starts speaking and you're like, the same thing I just told you. You know, the confidence. It's like, oh my God. You know, and when you look at her life and how she fights and and I always knew that about her before we worked, and I lost my self-control some time ago, and there was a song called Peltus, talk about Peltus, and then I got this magazine that had, you know, a picture of her. She was on the cover, True Love, I think. And then I started singing the song Peltus, and then, you know, I put the, I videotaped the whole thing. Everybody could see the magazine with her on it, singing Peltus. And then I think I did that twice or something. I think the second, she liked the first one, the second time she was, stop, you know, this guy, you know, but like in a cool way. And I met her when I was doing a show. She was presenting, you know, I was acting like Nicki Minaj. I think lip sync, you know. After the thing, after the whole, you know, show, it was really fun. I mean, I wanted to just let my hair down and just be goof around, you know, be out of myself. And afterwards, you know, we did a video. We talked, and she's really supportive as well. So we were talking about, you know, what I need to do, whatever in the industry, and you know, how she did this and that, and you know, who she's working with, and she was giving me advice. And you know, we had this, and then we did the video together. Talked about, you know, and it was like all these sweet moments. And when we got to work on Green Sun, it was like, God, wow. Yeah, this is you know, I'm out of myself. I'm not a professional. I'm not like an actor right now. I'm just Vuyo Dabula, just goofing around, just beautiful. God damn it, you know. But she's also nice, and what I think about her is that it's different. Some people want to perform. Some people want to outperform. When you're acting with them, they want to outperform. They want to show off and whatever. She's just really trying to find the truth in that character. Wow. And then there's a consistency that she tries to maintain, and she's very unpredictable here, there, yes. But there's and human beings are very unpredictable, but they've got like a common thing that they do. And if you watch the show, she does that, you know. She's the full human being. And the scenes I did, it was just that, man. It was that. The celebrity, the it girl, whatever they call them now, it wasn't there, and I was surprised, but not really surprised because I, you know, met her, we talked before. And professionally as an actor, I will endorse her. You know, I would say she has that professional, you know, very innocent as well. Like I was just trying to find the truth. She's not trying to outperform or anything. She is just in that moment, just trying to find the truth, really. You know, and that makes you settle down as well and work. You know, that's a beautiful thing. That's why people always just work with the same people in Hollywood, because it's attitude, it's how you treat people, how do you know, how they gel with you, your energy. And but some people still don't understand that they have to be the best, they have to outshine, and that's bullshit for me. If you just simply just trying to find the truth, which she did for me, I was like, yeah, she should be here. Yeah.
We are men. We are at the end of our session. Give me your closing remarks.
Closing remarks. You must close the thing, man.
Yeah.
I would say, in light of what we spoke about, you know, consistency. And it's a good thing to close, you know, with the closing remark, because then I think that's the biggest, that's the most important, that's the topic.
Yeah.
I would say, make it your priority to know why you're here.
Okay.
Let that be the most important thing. Let that be the most important thing. We don't remember Muhammad Ali, how many times he was married.
Okay.
You know, I'm not belittling marriage. I'm not saying, and I wish I had continued, but it is life. It is life. It's important, but it is not the greatest. That's not why you're here. Before leadership is instituted, you know, for mankind, they say we want somebody to lead us. God says, am I not enough? Before that, people are born with a purpose. Before anything, people are born with a purpose. You know, before marriage is like, okay, one man to one woman, when there's polygamy and whatever in those times, and it's acceptable, people have a purpose. So we define certain things and we've turned them to become more important. You know, Adam and Eve have a purpose. I don't know what it is. You can articulate that. You know, but they're not married. They're just living together. They don't know anything about marriage. You know, so Muhammad Ali was married about 4 times, but we remember what he did when he fought for social injustice. We remember how the art he gave us on the ring. We are we look at him, we're like, that's who we are. That's a young man growing, maybe it's like a kid. That's who I am. They can put up all their superheroes, the Supermans, and whatever, Iron Man out there, but you can't kill Muhammad Ali. You look up to him and you're like, that's who I am. You don't remember the other stuff. We don't judge him according to that. Martin Luther King, same. So I say, I've learned from that, even Floyd Mayweather, everybody. When I got that, it hit me. The most important thing is why you are here.
Wow.
Yeah, a child from a...
By the time I say 39 seconds.
You know, a child might be born from divorce, but they will be inspired by some stranger out there who's living their purpose. So I think purpose is the most important thing. So find it in everything.